This is about how to build diverse teams in a way that doesn't just lead to conflicts, and how to handle the concert of personalities that comes with such teams. Hi, we are the ARC, an international mastermind for impact-driven people who want to use their talents, passions and values to build something that inspires themselves and others. So if you want more to-the-point personal growth exercises, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you are always notified whenever a new video is up. If you know, just like us, that diverse teams perform way better than homogeneous teams, but you're confused as to how to pick people, what kind of diversity you want, how far you can stretch it, well, here is a really well-researched model that we've been teaching since 2010 to reap the benefits of diversity, but still stay sane when it comes to orchestrating that multitude of different personalities.
So the model we are discussing today is called the Belbin Team Roles, and it's giving us insights as to which roles are necessary to have a really, really great team.
First of all, why does it even matter? Well, expertise brings us as far as mid-management, but it's really our ability to handle people that brings us to the top. And that applies whether we are working as an employee or as an entrepreneur. So what the heck is Belbin? Now, Meredith Belbin did an interesting study at Hanley Management College in the 1970s in Oxfordshire, asking what makes a winning team? And the surprising answer was it's not necessarily the intellect or the qualifications in a team. But the most successful teams were the ones that had the best diversity in their roles. Think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Imagine a team that mainly consists of alpha animals or a team that mainly consists of nerdy scientists. Both of these teams on their own probably wouldn't get as far as another team that would have a healthy mix of the two, where the alpha animals potentially would push people forward, and the nerdy scientists would make sure that the product quality of whatever thing they're producing is actually great. How did they define team roles? Well, they said it's a tendency to behave, contribute and interrelate with others in a particular way. This is important because it means that a team role is not a description of your personality. It is something that can change. It's how you behave. It's not who you are. And this implies that in one team, you can be the shaper, the leading person who is pushing and motivating everybody, whilst in another team, you can be someone who's way more in the background, who is the specialist taking care that every single detail makes sense and that it's really compliant with all the different rules that there are, and so on and so forth. And that's important to notice because, well, team roles really isn't some sort of vague, crazy horoscope, another putting people into boxes kind of thing. It's really just a way to describe how we interrelate. So what they also found was that the teams that were particularly successful covered three types of roles: the thinking-oriented roles, the people-oriented roles, and the action-oriented roles. So let's dive into it. The first one of the thinking-oriented roles is always mentioned as being the plants, the innovators. And the way to remember this is it's the ones that plant ideas into teams, the unorthodox lateral thinkers, people who come up with new ideas and challenges. So their core belief would be, we have to challenge the status quo. And if you really want to upset them, the way to do it is to judge their ideas. That will make them really unhappy and lose their resourcefulness. Because what they value is creativity and freedom. Next to that, we have the Monitor Evaluators. These are the kind of people who would examine the options, who are the logical discriminators, spending a good deal of their energy into, evaluating option A, option B, option C, which is best, and making long lists about it. Their core belief would be, we have to look at these options objectively. So if you really want to trigger them negatively, you probably should react immaturely to their well-intended and often actually well-formulated criticism. What they value is clarity and a sensible emotional detachment. Then we also have the specialist. This is the kind of role that would dive into the technicalities, the details, that would read the instruction manual again and again, because their core belief would be, look, the problem is always in some tiny, tiny detail in the implementation. If you want to trigger them, it's best to give them just the general gist of things, because that will make them so overwhelmed out of their fear that they'd have to check every single crazy detail that comes with your big vision, and would probably really stress them out. What they value and need is a high level of expertise. So if you want to make specialists happy, give them amazingly smart colleagues. Next group, the people-oriented roles. First of all, we have the coordinator. This is really the diplomatic orchestrator of all these personalities that you have. It's the person that gets people's buy-in, that facilitates communication and consensus. That person would say, you know what, people must be taken on board. We need a lot of support to get all of this done. We are stronger as a group. And if you really want to annoy that person, feel free to come up with crazy big plans and completely disregard the human resources that you actually have. Because the coordinator will go crazy if he or she has to organize all of those resources for you. What this person values is collegiality and planning. And it's really still more on the rational type, in opposition to the team worker, who is the kind of really upbeat person that aims to make everybody smile again. Usually these people are wildly popular because they take care of people. They would say, hey, we are in this together. Teamwork makes dream work. And if you really want to upset them, be not very people-friendly. Be annoying, be disrespectful of people's needs, disrupt the team, whatever you feel like kind of brings negative energy is anything that will really, bring team workers down. Because, what they value and need is harmony. Yep. Last but not least, the Resource Investigator. Now, this is the kind of role that would pull out a contact out of nowhere and would somehow, in magical ways, find money, find rooms, find more people to get stuff done. Their standard phrase would be, let me make a few more phone calls. And their core belief is really, everything can be arranged as long as you stay positive. So if you really want to annoy them or get rid of them, be negative, or take their amazing resourcefulness for granted. What a lot of people forget about resource investigators is that they too have to invest energy in keeping themselves happy. So yes, they value positivity. They are not necessarily born with it. And obviously they love and value and need resourcefulness. Last group, the action-oriented roles. So finally, we are dealing with roles that are actually getting stuff done. So let's talk about the implementer first. That's finally the person that does the freaking work. Their core belief is, hey, let's get stuff done. And their triggers are subsequently politics. So anything that keeps them from doing the work, making stupid and bureaucratic instruction manuals, overcomplicating things, delaying things, wasting time. What they value is obviously, having results and having structure. Next in line, the shaper, the classic leader, the one that pushes and motivates people, that gets people going. Their core belief is lead, don't follow. Let me take charge of this. And their classic triggers are really, people who are lazy and who would find excuses as to why it wasn't possible to get the job done. Because what they value is heat and progress. Well, especially fast progress. Last in line, the finisher, completer. It's the role that polishes the work, that does the final touches, that does another time the proofreading, because their core belief is, look, the problem is always in the end when something happens that nobody thought about and everything fails. So if you want to really upset them, Ask them to do 80-20, so doing 80% of the work and 20% of the time, because hey, that's really not them. Actually, what you will find them doing is that they will do 20% of the work in 80% of their time. And the reason for that is they value so much perfection and have a great respect for detail. Yeah, and these are already the 9 different types. Also, we are often asked, what are the ways to apply Belbin wisely? And we think there are 2 major application areas. One is team diagnostic, the biggest question being, do we have all roles in our team? Or is the reason why we struggle or why we are maybe even failing as a team that we are missing one particular role? Another one is, are there maybe some roles that are doubled? For instance, are there 2 shapers in the room that are both fighting for leadership? Are there 2 people who are plants who both want to have crazy ideas? And because this is so close to the topic of conflict management, we have actually produced one video about this only, where we share a conflict management recipe to handle these different personalities. Once it's uploaded, we will link it up there somewhere in the cards. And if you're curious about it, just click on it and feel free to watch that too. Next application area is self-diagnostics, where we mainly would ask, what is my preferred role? Does it match with what is needed from me right now? Also, who or what triggers me? And what kind of behavior do people around me need? And because that's such an interesting topic as well, we, have also made a separate video about that, where we share a self-diagnostic test and some cool insights to these questions on top of it. Just like the conflict management recipe, we will link that video in the cards up there, so yeah, feel free to click on that as well. Yeah, so now you have an overview of all these different team roles that are needed to create that diverse team that you have been dreaming of. If you are curious about really taking this to the test, we have written an extensive guide containing all the roles, a self-diagnosis and group diagnosis tool, as well as debriefing questions which you can use for your own team. And the conflict management recipe, our way to sort of, deal with personalities that are so different from yourself and that trigger the heck out of you. If that's something you're curious about, we'll link it below. Just get up there and download it for free. Also, of course, if you had fun watching this video, but you feel, hey, it's maybe not doing the deal for me forever, dare to get in touch with us. As you know, the ARC is this international mastermind where we organize bootcamps, retreats, coachings across Europe for impact-driven people. And the way to get in touch with us is to just sign up for one of our coffee chats, which we are going to link here. And these are our 45 to 60-minute one-on-one conversation where one of our ARC team members is going to sit down with you and really discuss how the heck you can turn your talents, passions, and values into something that inspires yourselves and others, as well as whether the ARC is actually the right partner for you to support you on that journey. With these words, I am wishing you an awesome rest of the day and can't wait to see you soon. Bye-bye. What did I forget? If you know someone in your circles of friends who is a really awesome person and wants to build that rockstar team, dare to share this video with them. We love this model and we can't wait to hear your feedback as to how this has worked out for you guys in practice. If you had fun watching this video, give it a like, subscribe to this channel, and especially hit this funny, sweet notification bell so that you are notified whenever a new video is up.